We back. Dude,
That's
just
how hydrated I'm about to be for this episode. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just to get this out of the way, because we don't get to talk about it that much, but I'm so just dejected and disinterested by this Super Bowl.
Oh,
and it's not because I'm a Taylor Swift hater.
Two huge fan bases getting what.
Well, it's the Super Bowl that happened 4 years ago. So February 2020, this exact same matchup happened.
You're kidding. This was the first Pat Mahomes Super Bowl appearance was the 49ers also? Wow.
Yeah.
We actually, guys, let's start our geeky podcast with sports. No, but
let's not want to get it out of the way.
But no, we don't even have to get it out of the way because a lot of the Discord and a lot of our community does like sports. I feel like people like sports now more because of the internet. I feel like they're more appealing because you're able to follow them easier and there's more just kind of like jokes and memes about them going on.
Right. It's a whole other category of memes you can just get involved in.
Yeah. Like the Russell Westbrook sneaking the chicken strip in his mouth meme. Right. Like there's just so many memes. But I have to say we got there early and like wanted to watch that game. We went out to a bar.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And just because, we're both from St. Louis, so it's like we're Rams fans, but we root for the Chiefs. But now it's getting to a point where rooting for the Chiefs is like rooting for the Warriors, where it's just kind of like
Patriots
or the Patriots. I mean, geez, it's going to be potentially crazier than that dynasty. If this
he's been to the AFC Championship, the semifinals, every year that he started, 6 years in a row, and he's been to the Super Bowl
his rookie year.
His rookie year, he wasn't. Was a backup, like kind of learning under Alex Smith, who was the quarterback. So this is his 7th year. He started one game his rookie year, and then he became the starter his second year. Went to the AFC Championship and lost.
Wait, so the first year he started, he went to the AFC Championship?
Yeah, and then he lost to Tom Brady, and that's the year Tom Brady went and beat with the Patriots and beat the Eagles. And then the next year, Pat Mahomes went to the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady went again with the Buccaneers, and Tom Brady beat Pat Mahomes. So, and then the next year, Pat Mahomes went again, and he beat the 49ers.
It's so crazy that we're going to look back, and it's going to be statistically so crazy that Brady and him played against each other.
I know. It's like the end of one era, beginning of another.
2 championship level showdowns. Like
right. He beat him 2 years in a row, one in the Super Bowl and then one in the AFC Championship, and then the next year in the Super Bowl. And then Pat Mahomes since then has just run the league pretty much. He did, and it's
like you could argue that like he's definitely like he's moving towards his prime era, like as he gets into his. I guess he is. He's our age. Prime. So to be around this age is to be in your prime. It's like 25 to 30 is kind of like your physical prime.
As a QB, your prime is really like at 30 and then give or take 5 years. That 25 to 35, that's really when you're like, because you can be older as a QB,
Yeah, that's when your arm's more agreeable and your joints and everything, so you can keep throwing the ball. But the fact that he was showing off with he was beating a young Pat Mahomes is pretty nuts when you think about that. It's just funny because on TikTok, there's just been a lot of hype for Lamar Jackson in the playoff season, rightfully so. And he gets hate for not being able to pass. And
no, he can pass.
He can pass. But like it's funny because it's like so there was all those memes hyping him up, and when I made that Pat Mahomes impression video, I made it because my thought was because I kept seeing Lamar Jackson. I knew people were going to bandwagon around him because it's like. Get Pat Mahomes out of here, and this is the underdog story, and we all love the underdog. And my first thought was like, Pat Mahomes is not scared at all. That guy, like Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs are unstoppable. And when I saw that, I was just like, I know Pat Mahomes is just like, yeah, I mean, like, he's good, but like, we'll beat him. Like, yeah, who's good? I'll throw more balls than him. Like,
we'll score more points than him.
Yeah, they score 30, we score 48. You know, whatever we got to do.
It's facts. I mean, and they're not even as good this year as they were, and they're still just
dude.
Nick, what's his name?
Crazy.
Nick Wright. He's a ESPN guy, I think. I forget what network, but he had like a banner behind him on one of his recent shows where he's like, "Our bad year." He's a Chiefs fan. He says, "Our bad years are better than your good years."
Well, that's exactly right because the Chiefs are playing at a baseline. The Ravens at their absolute best. Like,
right.
That, like, you know what I mean? Like, to even make it a close game, they would have had to basically avoided every single error that took place. They would have had to avoid every single one just to make it close, and they probably wouldn't have even won, even still. They would have gotten within 3 points of it, and who knows what if they would have gone into, like, what is it, overtime or whatever the fuck? I don't know how football works. Yeah, like, it was crazy because it was just like, you're not getting any, like, you're not going to catch the Chiefs fucking up. They're not going to be fucking up. You better pray to God you can do something, because you're not, if you're praying for them to drop a pass or anything like that, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I mean, like, the Chiefs didn't even get lucky, the fact they fucked up that much, because by the end of the game, that pass interference call everyone keeps fucking talking about, it wouldn't have even tied it up, right? It would have just gotten them closer. Right, and there was only like 2 minutes left. They wouldn't have won.
No,
and then it's like, if what is his name? Zay Flowers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have okay. If Zay Flowers hadn't have dropped that, which is just like, that's totally, who can argue? He fucked it up. That's it.
Yeah.
He just fucked it up. He had it. He fumbled a touchdown. How do you fumble a touchdown? Tuck that shit. Get within the 1 yard. I don't care. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Was it even fourth down? I don't remember. I feel like both these errors did not happen on fourth down. Lamar Jackson, 3-man coverage on that guy. Got you.
Yeah. Terrible.
2nd and 10. Run the ball. Like, what are you doing?
Dude, literally the same thing happened with which other fucking game was it? There was like 3 or 4 games this playoffs where the team I was rooting for, they had a chance. Oh, it was the Packers. I wanted them to beat the 49ers. And they had a chance to go down with a minute left to score, or to get I think they just needed a field goal to win. And it's like 2nd down, and Jordan Love, this first year starter, he just was having an insane year, an insane playoff, and then an insane game. That was the first game. And then his last play of the season, he just throws straight to the 49ers. Just no one around. I'm like,
it's like, how do you do that? You guys can hit a fucking bean can off a post from 100 yards away, and then you throw it to the wrong guy. Like,
yeah, or triple coverage. It just pisses me off. And now we have we have the 49ers, who have like the 2nd most Super Bowls of all time, and have been to the Super Bowl twice in the past, 12 years already. And then you have the Chiefs, who are just running the league for the past 6 years. I'm like, I don't give a shit about, like, I'm not a Chiefs fan.
No, it's so boring.
I cannot root for the Chiefs. They got good right when the Rams left, pretty much, like maybe a year or 2 later. But
I'm not a fan of the Chiefs, but I'm very interested to see just how much he can run up the record. That's
sure.
What I'm interested in.
I am interested in that for sure, and I respect that. And I'm not like a Chiefs hater. I just am not like excited about it at all. I'm just so dejected because I wanted to see the Lions win, and they just went out. They went up 27-7 or 27-3, or what was it, 24-7 maybe. That was what it was, 24-7, and then they just don't score the second half or something like. They score 1 touchdown in the second half and let the Niners score like 30. And I'm just like, okay, whatever.
What's crazy about football and baseball right now is they're reaching like next gen. Like next gen. Like, to me, next gen was like seeing Steph Curry, the rise of Steph Curry. It's like, okay. Like okay. There's just guys who are disgusting at one thing, which is just 3-point shooting.
Right.
You know, they're just disgusting. Now that's next gen, right? Next gen is Jokic. That's next gen. Where it's I can shoot threes, but I'm enormous too.
But I'm 8 feet tall and 300
Yeah.
pounds, but athletic also.
And unguardable, by the way.
Yeah.
That's next gen. That's what you're seeing with Wemby. And the next gen that you're seeing in fucking baseball and football is people like Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is like Steph Curry and LeBron James. It's like it's like this guy who disrupts the game, but who is also just like plainly just good at his position.
Right. He just like
fundamentally.
He doesn't even look good when he does it. He's just like scrambling about, and then he just like runs and he just like sidearm chucks it, and he just finds an open guy. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
And I was gonna say with baseball, Shohei Ohtani is also next gen, because it's just like, oh, I'm a hitter. Guess what? I'm a fucking disgusting pitcher. Also,
now he's on the Dodgers, and he's gonna inspire like a whole generation of kids that want to pitch and hit. You know.
Dude, Maxwell is so absolutely what you said is absolutely true. There was an Arizona Diamondbacks player that was really good like that too. I forget that guy's name.
That hit and pitched.
Yeah, and he had he had lettuce in the back a little bit too.
Randy Johnson,
a skinny guy. I think it might have been Randy Johnson. Yeah,
I don't know if he hit. Maybe, he probably did. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge baseball historian. Wainwright was a
decent pitcher. Or he was a decent hitter. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't find his stats. But anyways,
Maxwell was stoked about
he
Shohei.
was stoked about that because it's not only Shohei Ohtani. They also drafted one of the best pitchers in the league too.
Really,
the Dodgers.
They just drafted him this year. Didn't know about that.
I forget what it is, but yeah, he's so excited for the next season.
I gotta come to New York so I can let Maxwell know I hate the Dodgers.
It's funny because no one hates the Dodgers more than Dodgers fans because they get their hearts broken. Speaking of which, like that was the other thing that I felt so bad about. Like it's such a Sisyphusian sport. Some of the following some of these teams, like there's a like 70% chance that if you love a team from the middle of the country, you're just gonna have your heart broken dozens of times in your life. And like the Lions, like it was like sickening how badly that first half they were doing phenomenal. It was like a dream.
I know. I was like, wow.
And then they lost.
Yeah.
It's like I texted. Pardon me. Shout out Gino the Ghost. I texted my friend Gino. He's a Detroit fan. He's from Detroit. Lions fan. And I said, go Detroit. And he was like, oh! And then I looked at the score and saw that the 49ers won, and I just didn't even text him. I was like, I'm going to give him space. I'm not even going to go, oh man, that's a tough break. Like I don't
No, he doesn't need to hear that. He's dejected and sour.
It's deep. It's deep. And it's deeper than something I'll ever understand because I have no relationship with a team at all. I've never had one. I have a relationship with the Cardinals, but that's like having a cool fucking uncle that just shows up and gives you a gift.
Right.
Like that's not like that's it. That has only been an awesome relationship. It's just like, don't worry, we're one of the greatest baseball teams in history, and you'll watch us go to the World Series twice in your childhood, and it's just like perfect situation. It's like having a family member. The Cardinals are like having a family member. Like that's like so personal, so beautiful. You never have to worry about the Cardinals. Like, there's going to be years where they do bullshit or they disappoint you, but it's always going to be a good franchise. They're always going to have money. It's a legacy, and it's only a matter of time before they win another one. It's like they're always they're usually not too shitty. But the Dodgers, they are like, the Philadelphia 76ers or the Celtics or whatever. The Lakers. I guess so. Where they go to the playoffs and they never win.
Okay, I see what you mean.
That's what I was saying. It's like they always have these heartbreaking. They do incredible during the regular season, and then they have these heartbreaking playoff. Just like confusion moments.
They actually Dodgers World Series record is like They have 24 NL pennants, which means they've been to the World
That's
Series
brutal.
24 times, and they've only won 7 of them. And since 2020, which was the COVID season, so people kind of give them shit for that, they hadn't won since 1988. 55, 59, 63, 65, 81, 88, 2020. And they just
wait, they have how many NL
7.
pennants?
They've been to the World Series 24 times. They've won it 7 times. So they are 7
crazy,
and 17.
Because we have only 19 pennants, but we've
won 11.
Won 11.
Yeah.
It's sick. And it's St. Louis. Like, that's what's like, okay, cool. You're the New York Yankees. You're the Los Angeles Dodgers, who were formerly the Brooklyn Dodgers. Like, yeah, it makes sense you guys have
They spend out
championships.
the ass.
Yeah.
There's no cap.
We
so
have more championships than Chicago. Chicago can't even buy a World Series, except for that one time in 2016, which you knew the world was ending. You knew that was the last real year because the Cubs won. And then it's like everything after that is
just fake.
Will be marked as the apocalypse.
Yeah, well, the Yankees
Trump
times.
getting elected, man. If you thought the reality machine is broken now, when we had Trump get elected and the Cubs won the World Series the same year, that's like what? What? Why is it the Cubs and the Bears? Are they like fucking? They like bears over there in Chicago, I guess.
Yeah.
Are they by the lakes? Is that why?
Bears? I don't think there's any bears in Illinois. It's all flat farmland.
There's no bears in Illinois. That's definitely not true.
Like, are there bears in Illinois?
It's probably the most bears in the world. Black bears, once common in Illinois, were eliminated from the state by 1870. Jesus Christ.
5 bears confirmed. There have been 5 bears confirmed in Illinois in the past few years. So there's
5 bears ever?
They have the populations are in Missouri and Wisconsin. Mountains. They can maybe like wander over there, but they're not like located there. I think it's just too flat.
It's so crazy. Isn't it funny how there's nothing in Missouri? Like no thing is in Missouri.
St. Louis and Kansas City.
Whoa, this rare spider. Where is it? Connecticut. Like,
oh, you mean animal wise?
Yeah, like there's like oh the my god, a cougar fucking no, those are really not really. It's like
no.
What happened?
There was a cougar like running around this area a few years back.
That's fucked, dude. Cougars are nightmares because
there might be like a mountain lion.
They're just as like spry as cats, but they're the size of dogs, and they can rip the fuck out of you.
Oh yeah, they'll kill you.
Shit out of you. Oh, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll kill you.
Or sound like Joe Rogan.
Oh, they'll kill you. Yeah, man. Wow.
They'll kill you. Yeah.
The guy who does his fake laugh.
Who? Oh, on Rogan?
Yeah, Rogan's fake laugh where he goes. He does like a fake laugh.
I can't even. It doesn't even. Or if you're making sound, it's not even coming through.
Oh,
it just looks like you're opening your mouth.
You'll hear it in the recording and then give it a little chuckle.
I certainly hope so.
I certainly hope so.
No, but
dude, it's crazy. Like, shut the fuck up, real quick. You know what I mean? Like, shut the fuck up. I forgot something.
More about. Well, was it to put the broccoli in the bristle?
No, you already know I already took care of the pot stew. It's already being boiled.
Oh, then what is it?
No, I forgot to introduce the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not going to speak in a British accent during the intro. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, it is February the 1st. Happy Black History Month 2024. Welcome to another episode of Wokenbokepodcast. It is a very, 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 very special episode of the Woken Boke. You might have noticed because we've hit a milestone, Tony. We've hit a milestone. This is episode 200. Whoa!
Gonna throw in like 30 grunt happy birthday noises.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's episode 200. Who the fuck is texting me, dude? Oh. Someone's checking this. Okay. Yeah, man, this is crazy. Guys, I am one of your hosts, right? Connor motherfucking Boyd. You may know me on the internet as Moschino Dorito. Intellectual property rights, nightmare of a name, but that's me. That's my handle. You may know me from TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Maybe from that guy who's pretending to be me on Facebook with 30,000 followers.
What?
Yeah. People keep sending me that. What can I do? I don't know.
Record him.
Yeah, I think I might send him a cease and desist if I can. I don't know.
I would, yeah.
Because he's making money off of it. Some of them have millions of views.
100%. You got to get on top of that. I mean, not to stress.
I don't really give a shit if he's making money. That's, if you have to steal, if you have to pretend to, yeah, but I mean, it is, but I already have those reels up. So if I was going to make any money, I would have been making money, and I'm not. So it takes forever. You have to, anyhow, I'm not going to, you might know me from that. Okay. You might know me from a lot of things. It's not the point. Anyways, you're here, and I am joined by my best friend from the great city of St. Louis. He has been my host for now. We are in our 5th calendar year producing this show every week. Obviously, it's taking a second to get to this episode. We haven't put out an episode since last year, but on the regular, we put it out every week. My man, the editor, the co-host, the legend, the OG, Tony motherfucking Hero is here today. Tony, how you doing?
Doing better than in the past few weeks or so, all things considered. It's been a turbulent start to the year for all the Woken Boke boys for various reasons.
True. And it has been a dramatic scene 1 act 1 for this year for all of us. That's very true.
Yeah, I think this month off has been it's actually been good. Like at first I was like, man, it's been a while since we put one out and we haven't said anything about it, but it was probably for the best, just all things considered. I got sick, I got laid off. A lot of crazy stuff has been happening. So,
that is true. That is true. Tony got laid off. I had a job opportunity that I was waiting on for 2 months. I actually interviewed on my birthday, which is November 30th. For all of you fans, mark your calendars. It's November 30th, and I had my interview, and then like a week and a half later, they got back to me before I left, like right before I left for the holidays. Hey, we don't have an answer yet, but we'll definitely get back to you
by late January.
Well, actually, this is how it went. They had the interview, then they got back to me right before I left, said, hey, fill out these prompts and give us some responses back on how you would approach this job. And I gave very good responses. Trish was like, they have to give you the job. Those are fantastic answers. They came back, holy cow, thank you. Those were so good, blah, blah, blah. We'll get back to you. It's going to take us until after the new year to get back to you. Totally fine. First week of January, I don't hear from them. I'm like, no worry. I'm not going to freak out. And then second week, I wait. I'm like, they're going to get back to me, man. They're going to get back to me. Then Wednesday of that week, I go, or no, that second week, the Monday, I go, hey, still super interested. Would love to hear whatever. And then they got back to me and go, hey, by Wednesday, we're going to have an answer for you. I go, oh, okay. That's great. Like, it sounded great. Because you'd think, just tell me I don't have it. If it's been this long, they would just tell me at that point. Oh, you have an answer for me? So I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to get this job. And then fucking Wednesday, get back. Oh, my manager's sick. I'm so sorry. We'll get back to you after the weekend. Fuck. Oh, darn. Okay, but that still sounds like I'm still, they just need to rubber stamp it and I'm good.
Right.
Next week, come Monday, I think I text them or email them. And then they get back and they go, yeah, the position actually we've decided we're not offering the position at this moment yet. So, and I was just like, oh, like it wasn't my fault.
Awesome.
Like I didn't do bad. I didn't fuck up. I didn't not get the job, but it was just like, oh, okay. Like, damn, 2-month hiring cycle that ends in this. That's a different person would probably lose their fucking mind. So that was also very heartbreaking and kind of felt like being fired in a mini way also. It felt like I got laid off again, frankly. So that's why I brought it up. So Tony and I kind of both got laid off. A lot of crazy shit been happening. But usually every week we get together and we discuss everything, our lives, video games, obviously sports now in the playoff seasons when I actually watch them. All stuff like that. We're into anime and manga and music and the internet and mostly video games, as you can probably freaking tell. I like video games. Tony likes video games. We grew up playing Halo 3 together. That's why there's a Halo 3 poster on the cover art of this podcast. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. No, I bet you did. It's pretty obvious, but also kind of subtle. Subscribe to us if you'd like on YouTube and follow us. Oh, let me not get ahead of myself. I forgot to mention that we're usually joined by our great, close, good friend, the demon on the drum kit, Max motherfucking Big Boy Sansa, my other best friend. I won't even say other best friend, my best friend from St. Louis. It's really cool. If you're not aware of this show, I've known Tony since we were in diapers. I've known Max since we were like 12 years old, man. Like, it's really cool. And oddly, Tony actually met Max before I did, which is crazy. They played baseball together. So it's a perfect friendship triangle. And he's usually here, but this guy, thank God, is busy as fuck. With all kinds of shit. Going back on tour with his band, Lobby Boxer, who's fantastic. He's also constantly making music. Doing live shows with his death metal band, which is a very good, wavy, very fire death metal band from St. Louis, Missouri, indie death metal band, Sawed Off. They're awesome, frankly.
Yeah, they're just like straight to the point, just fucking like badass hardcore.
Yeah, like any metal fan I show them to is like, oh yeah, I listen to them all the time because it's just
nice.
For me personally, I won't. It's like the two genres that I'll listen to musicians with almost no following are rap and metal. Like, and I'm not saying Sawed Off doesn't have a following. That came out crazy.
they're a
but
new
I
band.
meant more like Fister, who has a big following too. And I don't mean that they don't have a big following, but I'm saying like more local, independent fucking shit. Like,
I mean, how long have they been around?
My point is that I'll listen to it and it's as fire and exciting as bigger shit or whatever. Like it's actually something you'll listen to on rotation. And if y'all haven't listened to Sawed Off or Lobby Boxer, both, because I mean, we went to that show. How incredible were they?
Oh my God, yeah.
Both those bands are totally worth being huge. I mean, they're fire. They're fire. I could totally see Sawed Off being. I mean, like, dude, Max showed me Peeling Flesh. I'm like, dude, you guys make music that's this fire too. Like, this is sick. Like, I would listen to that as much as. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the level of musicianship and quality and production, because Max mixed that shit too.
Right.
He's like engineering the shit. Max is a genius. Like, he makes good shit that's just as good as anything that's making a gajillion dollars. Hey. Anyhow, all that aside, Max is usually our co-host. This is the longest show intro we've ever done, but subscribe to us on YouTube if you'd like. You can also follow us on Spotify if you're not already doing so, because we do regularly upload on the and do that so you don't miss a single episode. You can also join our Discord, which is thriving like crazy, like it never has, because it's conjoined with two other kind of Discord community people now, twitch.tv/the Buckinator and twitch.tv/secret moves. We've created, and Woken Boke is just a prong of this, but we've created this umbrella sort of collective called the Friendiverse, whose purpose is to basically provide everyone with entertainment and community and video game playing time and just overall good vibes and a place to kind of escape all the bullshit and hang out with really chill people. And I have to say, on the Woken Boke Discord, pretty much every single person I've ever met, whether it's just like I see them online playing a game I'm interested in, I like DM them like, hey, what are you playing? Or if they fucking just like are in the chat and I'm talking to them on the mic, or I meet them for just a sec, every single person has been like uniquely funny, based, chill, like has good vibes, and just like in general, like I don't know, like is naturally interesting and unique and individual and just cool. And it's just like we're building just such a cool community, and I just welcome you to join it. You can also follow us on Twitter at wokenbokepod and Instagram at wokenbokepodcast to get updates on when the podcast is dropping every week, and reach out to our Gmail, won't you? wokenbokepodcast@gmail.com with your questions, comments, and suggestions, and we will read them on the show. And links to all of the shit I mentioned, which we should start plugging Nudes, Lobby Boxer, and Sawed Off in the links.
We should, yeah, we can totally do that. We there's a lot of stuff that we should start, just like little things that I think, you know, now that we hit 200 and now that I have a lot more time on my hands, you know, we can start building stuff up. Though I'm staying very busy. Like I have, I'm doing a huge project for this board game. My friend it's already like complete, but I'm just like enhancing it or upgrading certain elements to it, called Hexes of Saigon. It's like a Settlers of Catan type game, but it's better and more fun, I think, and looks cooler. And so I'm excited for that, because I think that's going to be a multi-million-dollar game that I got in on the ground floor of. And it's just a lot of fun to work on. But that's keeping me very busy. I'm going to start some other sort of like online retail stuff, you know, like just designing t-shirts, stuff like that, because I have creative ideas and cool designs. It's like I should just get them out there, see if I can get a little passive income going, because I am my goal right now is to not go straight to another company or corporation and say, can I work for you for 40 hours a week, 8 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, please, for less money than I could maybe make just doing shit on my own. Please. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, can I take the blue pill and drink Bud Light and vote for Brandon Biden? Yeah.
Yeah, not me, man. Not going to miss me with that.
Yeah, please drink Bud Light. Yeah. The shit they get upset.
Right.
No, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, I mean, like, I was unemployed looking for jobs, and my friend is in talent management, and so he's kind of become my manager, and he's also been kind of learning how to be my social media manager. And we've been doing a lot of cold outreach, and we've gotten like a couple deals moving, and we just got paid for one, and like
nice.
It's like gonna cover like easily at least 2 months of like my living. Like that's the amount. I have to save in taxes about half of it, because it's fucking New York, you know, and whatever. But you know, the actual bag is like very nice, so it's saving my ass.
Hell yeah. And
the nice thing is that got that bag in the new year. You know what I'm saying? So don't have to quite. I'm gonna have to pay taxes on that in 2025.
Right, over
in 2025. So yeah, but hey, if the IRS is watching, I got your money. Don't worry. Please don't harm me or anyone. Please.
I'm confused though, because if you're making just money off of brand deals and you're not hitting a certain income threshold, can they even tax you?
Yes. Like if you make over $600 a year, like they can tax you.
Jesus.
Yeah. You got to
flag that.
It's some kind of shit like that. Don't play with taxes, folks. Pay your taxes. All right, just pay your taxes.
It goes to a good cause. Goes to a
good cause. It goes to a good country. A cause. And anyways, yeah. So and I just got paid for. But when we got this job, this deal,
mm-hmm.
this deal we just got paid for, it started in like late November, early December.
Okay.
Or it was like mid-November. When we got it and the price they agreed on, I was like, dude, I want to just do this for my job.
I think you could and should.
And I could. It's just I have to build my book of business. I have to do enough work and have enough rapport and retain enough clientele that this is something that I can rely on, that the work's going to come. Because at the end of the day, it's fully freelance. So it's the same as you know what I mean? So, but right now I'm trying to, I'm still seeking full-time employment. I need the insurance. I need the benefits. Because, at the end of the day, which you can do when you freelance, I also just need to sign up for insurance. There's insurance I'm eligible for, so I need to sign up for it just in case, I fall off I have a fucking Family Guy level fall accident and I land with my arm like in my legs,
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, man, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. How long? When did you get? Like, how long have you been laid off? Like a couple of weeks.
This
right?
would be the second week.
How is it?
So it was Wednesday of last week. Okay. So
feels honestly like great, right?
It honestly, like, it was really like jarring the first day or two of it. I was like, man, I just like wasn't expecting that. But the ability to just like wake up at like 9:30, 10 and then hop over to my computer and start like building these things that I'm planning to do to be my new source of income. It's just way more enjoyable, and I'm very lucky now in the living situation I'm in. Like, if there was one time for me to say, all right, I'm going to make a go at being freelance full time and being my own boss, like, it's right now. Like, I have no excuses to not give that a shot.
It's kind of a perfect situation.
Yeah. And it just sounds so unappealing to go back to, like, spend time and effort to go back to a situation like I was in before, just for them to potentially let me go again. Like, yeah, right. The same exact thing could happen.
That's why eventually I do need to like be my own boss and work as an actor for myself, as a content creator for myself, or whatever I do. Eventually someday I have to just have enough business that I don't really have to work for a place. Because that's and also, man, guys like us, it's like you're lucky where you have a job that's just completely aligned with your skills, whereas it's kind of harder for me to find that. But like, that's the thing I struggle with, is caring about whatever the fuck I'm doing. Like, if your shit is stupid and boring and I can't kick ass doing it, and it's tedious bullshit, I will be homeless before I am able to hold a job down like that. But if the job is fucking cool and it's in my wheelhouse and I can kick ass at it and I can be good at it, well, then I'll wake up every day and I'll be happy to go to work. It's happened before. The last time that happened was in 2019. I had a job where I was doing so well, I actually found myself one week looking forward to being at work. It was crazy.
One time. One it still
week
happened.
It became like, oh, I can't wait to go into the office and get a nice bagel and, have a nice lunch and walk around and make phone calls. It was just like, delusional, but,
very unhealthy mindset.
But
very unhealthy.
Horrible. Enjoy your job and what you do.
What the fuck, bro?
What the fuck, dude? But yeah, that's my issue, is like, if I go to these jobs and like, it's tough to, basically like, I don't know, man. Like for the last couple of years, it's like I've just been doing these jobs that it's like I do just like I am an incredible bullshitter. Incredible. It's like basically all I live on. And it would like you have if you're good enough at bullshitting, you have a 6 to 12 month runway. If you're completely like disinterested and lazy and no, you're not, you don't have the consistency and the passion to have what it takes to properly perform at your job, but you have the job because you're a goofball who just by dumb luck stumbled into it. If that's the case and you're a good bullshitter, you have 6 to 12 months before they find out that you shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're aware of that, you can just hop from job to job to job, which is possible until you're in a recession.
Right. Yeah.
Lay you off. Fuck. But anyhow, yeah, I forgot what we were talking about. I'm sorry to stray.
We were just talking about the struggles we've been going through the first month of the year and why we haven't been posting.
And it can trust me. I mean, I've been unemployed for so long, dude. I've been unemployed since March 1st, 2023. Think how far. It's almost a year fully. Yeah. It literally is officially 11 months that I've been unemployed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
5 years.
Right here.
It's so like, fucking chill, dude.
I just love that. Like my parents were like, "No, don't. You're spending the money. No, don't spend the money." And it's just like I'm literally just all summer not working, doing.
Greatest summer of your life.
And the whole summer, what do I feel like doing? I'll just stream a couple hours and then
it's like an adult summer vacation. Like as almost 30 years old, and you're just having summer vacation.
It's better than a kid summer vacation because you have money. You can just be like, guess I'll just probably go to trivia tonight and just get nearly blackout and hit the pen in the middle of the
hit the pen with Darius, get black.
Probably go buy something that costs $500 and then
right.
It's idiotic. But yeah, dude, it can get depressing after a while though. Like starting the new year, and what it really was it was the anticipation for the new job and how much that was killing me and how depressing it felt to kind of not really actively look for work because you're just so paralyzed by the anticipation. Well, I also have ADHD, but like you're just so paralyzed by the anticipation of this new job and you're so certain you got it. And then to not get it. And it's just like I'm tired of feeling it. The other thing is like my girlfriend literally works so hard and has a cool job and she's good and useful at it. And she's also the most like doesn't complain at all. I mean, my girlfriend's just a better person than me, but she literally is just like, I'm the boyfriend who's like texting her 2 or 3 times without a response, like YouTube videos and stuff, while she's actually doing something. And I'm just like, God damn it. Like, I want to be up to shit. I want to be busy. Like, fuck. I want to be. And I have so many ideas and like things that I could theoretically be working on if they got produced and greenlit and all that stuff. So I know one day I will be, but that can get depressing. Dude, and then like she comes home and she's been working all day and it's like she's tired. And I'm like, I'm chilling.
Right.
But what were we gonna ask? Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, if you have any ideas for like t-shirts or any sort of things that you can sell like on Etsy and you want me to make them, we'll work something out where we just like split the profits of every sale. Like if you want that,
should
like,
do
that could be a little So because I'm not having trouble thinking of designs, but I think I could definitely benefit from other outside input on because you're way more in touch with trends and what's good. Like I made a Saltburn t-shirt I'll have to show you because that's like a popular trendy movie right now.
Yeah, no, I'm just surprised you know what it is.
Saltburn?
Saltburn?
The movie?
Yeah.
Saltburn? No, I watched it over Christmas on New Year's with my my brother's fiance wanted to watch it. So we all watched it.
That movie looks looks terrible, and not because it's like gross. It just looks like
it's really weird and like kind of like it's, you could say it's like pretentious. Like it's got the 3:4 ratio, and it's, you know, really on the nose, like symbolism, like the end, like the main character's wearing like antlers, like a devil costume sort of, and then the good guy's wearing like an angel costume. Like it's so like right on the nose with that shit. But like that's literally my, I don't want to say what my design is, but it's on Etsy right now. So
it's crazy because I actually, guys, if you're watching, I actually have a t-shirt coming soon. I've been cooking it for a while. It's been a process of kind of deciding every little detail about it. And shout out Jackson, dude's been really, really incredible and chill, handling and coordinating my feedback. It's just been awesome working with him. It makes me feel like I can actually really edit and workshop it as much as I want without, you know, feeling like I'm being a dick. But I think it's going to be a really strong. I'm just figuring out just the finer details right now, but I think it's going to be a really strong design, and I think it'll sell well. But yeah, Tony, what we should do is like we should set it up where it's like it's your brand, and I can help you with like, I can give you ideas for how, you know, like maybe like if you wanted to have an because I think the best way to sell t-shirts is to like have an Instagram, and then like you promote your posts and stuff like that, and it links to the site. You do like Facebook advertising. But I could like kind of help with choosing maybe like some memes to supplement with like the posts of what the new shirts are, or like what to make the shirts of. But like I would do that, and but it could still be your whole thing, because I don't want to run a t-shirt brand, but I'd love to make money off one and help you with one. So I'm totally down, dude.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That'd be fun. Because I know we'd make a lot of fun ones, and I think, dude, I honestly think a lot of the times, like, you could be my writing partner, like in general. Like if I was like if I was writing a comedy or something, like a comedy feature, like, or if I was writing sketches or whatever, like I feel like you tee me up for some crazy bits sometimes. That's all I'm saying. It's like you get me to a place where I'm going crazy, you know?
Yeah. No, I would love that. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. So sometimes like I'll see or like you'll show me a draft or a TikTok, and I'll have like an idea of like maybe a different way I would have thought of doing it. Not to say my way would have been better, but maybe it would have been. And if I share that with you, you'll kind of think of it differently, and you'll think of something else.
Oh no!
So I think it's worth it.
The truly creative are truly collaborative. That's my opinion. The truly creative are the truly collaborative. It's not to say there's not creative, selfish assholes out there. There certainly are. Like, you know, but I think that the truly creative and the people who truly want to make something original and come to find truth and originality in their ideas are very like input sensitive. They get a lot of input. They get input. Not necessarily like critique or constructive critique or whatever, but they get reactions, they get feedback, they get emotions and feelings of you know, whatever. They absorb the things around them, not just what people say, but like what they see out there, how they see other people feel. They absorb that, they remember it. And I don't know what I'm yapping about, but basically I think like I would totally be open to all of that, because I'm truly creative, and I know if you said something, it might ping off me in a way where it goes to a direction that like is completely uncharted, and I'm like, oh fuck, I never thought of that.
It's like when you're on Goobers and you have a fractal thought, and it goes from bling, bling, and it just like Slingshots to something else. Yeah.
Yeah, where the fucking you're tripping sax so hard that even the things you're imagining in your head are trippy. Like the imagery in your mind's eye is doing fractal shit.
Yeah.
You like see a hand in your mind, but then it turns into like hands coming out of every finger, like that.
It's true. Yeah. No, it's a good way to put it. Because like your mind, if you multiply it by a different mind, it's you don't know what's going to happen. Dude. It's usually something fleer.
And listen, it's just chemical change. It's two energies just colliding with each other and creating a spark, and it creates a new it's crazy. Dude. It's crazy. It's creation. But dude, I think we were getting into it. Let me get my water. Let me get my water, and then I'm gonna talk about the beginning of Woke and Boke.
Oh yeah.
And we cut back to Tony with Brussels sprouts. He got Brussels sprouts. Sorry. What were we talking? Oh yeah, I was gonna explain the beginning of Woke and Boke. So everyone, please sit back, relax. Let me regale you with the true tale of how Woke and Boke came to be. So, I will say the show is heavily inspired by Cumtown. Let me explain why and how. So, I moved to New York in 2018. Before then, I went to college in Boston, and I did a radio show for like 4 years. It's called EFR, Emerson Film Radio. I went to Emerson College, okay? That's where I went to college. It's been 10 years since that show started, so I can tell everyone this. I went to Emerson College in Boston, and I had a radio show called Emerson Film Radio because I grew up listening to like Mega 64 podcast and the Giant Bombcast, and I kind of got into podcasting and radio broadcasting. Kind of like I kind of just liked the idea of like a radio host and having a podcast and all that shit. So I was able to get on their WECB.FM Emerson's like digital radio station. I was able to get that show on there, and I reapplied and I got it like every year. And it turned out actually that when I mistakenly enrolled in like a level 2 neurology class that like I was completely underqualified for, and I didn't realize until like a month into the semester, or like 2 months, maybe less. I don't know. And so I dropped it, but I didn't have to pick up another class because I had the radio credits. So it was like perfect. And it was like right at the end of college. It was like junior year of college. So it was like perfect. I didn't like, so I was just like basically more free that year. So it was cool that I was able to do that because I was involved in that, right? So I moved to New York. I graduated 2017, moved to New York. I like worked that whole summer, moved to New York 2018 with what little cash I had, worked that whole year. That was the hardest year, scratching together cash just to pay rent, just to feed myself, doing everything, PAing, working part-time jobs. I worked in a creperie. I worked as a server. I worked at Le Pain Quotidien at Lincoln Center. I've had many part-time jobs. And then anyways, I moved to New York in 2018. And when I moved there, a friend of a friend was asking me about this show Cumtown. And I didn't know anything about it, whatever. And they would like play it off the speaker in their apartment, and I didn't really pay attention, whatever. Then one day I'm actually going on like a really long walk, like a 40-minute walk in Brooklyn, and so I'm like, all right, let me just do a podcast. I'll look up what was that, Cumtown? And I listened to one, and it was an episode where they were talking about. He was doing an impression of Tony Soprano if he was in a relationship with Pepper Ann, the character Pepper Ann, and him talking to his therapist about Pepper Ann, and the therapist is like, Tony, she's a child, and it's like, like I was literally crying as I was laughing, and so I got really into it because I was like, I want to hear what other do they ever make, are there other bits where they're that funny? And if you're aware of the show, it's very blue, it's very offensive, but it's also very inconsistent. You know, there was a period of time where there was a lot of good episodes. There's a couple certain chunks or periods of times where there's good episodes. But overall, the show was really inconsistent because they kind of started doing it as a joke, and then it started making money, and so they were sort of forced to do it. So it's not really supposed to be taken seriously. It's just kind of crass, blue bullshit podcasting. But the thing that I really
effed with heavy.
The thing that I effed with heavy was sort of the casual formatting of the show. I liked how it was 3 people who are all they're offering is basically an organic sort of relationship that happens to be comedic. They're comedians, so it's a little bit more like at the beginning, especially they were leaning into trying to be funny more. But I was like, dude, Tony and I have had conversations. I know, yes, this podcast was born how every podcast is born. We go, me and my friends are funny. We should record what we say. But the difference is that I am funny, and so is Tony, and and I knew it would be funny, and I knew it would be enjoyable, and I knew it would be something that we would both approach without this like expectation of it exploding. But we knew it would be a good show, even if nobody listened to it, and that we'd get a kick out of doing it and listening to it. And it would be a platform for me personally to like express myself comedically and work through my comedic voice at that time, which is different than now. But also the same. Like it's just I've continued to grow and evolve. And it's been a nice, like I truly am so comfortable talking on a microphone in a broadcast setting. And I would argue that it would just transfer to a live setting, because even when we did the Jaded live show, the first one, like I felt completely comfortable on stage with the mic in my hand. It was like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm like completely comfortable on stage. I forget, because I grew up on stage. I've been doing plays since I was 6. Right. And also doing the job talk back, it was also that, because that was a stage thing. I was like, oh yeah, I'm comfortable on stage. I mean, it's still exciting, you know, and it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna be in front of people when you do it. But anyhow, I can't remember. But yeah, so this show, doing it for this long, is like really made me comfortable talking and broadcasting, and it's made me like even more comfortable as a speaker than I was before, which is surprising. Like the actual diction, I'm like better at talking than I was back then, and like I can sight read copy and say it way faster and easier than I maybe could earlier in my life. But so that's what it was. And I kind of pitched the idea to Tony that it was just like the Tony and Connor friendship podcast, basically. It was like, we will record this like once a week, and it'll be basically a diary entry of our friendship. Because we go back so far, we have so many memories, and also we have so many like inside jokes. And also Tony and I have both made each other die laughing so many times that it's just like a show would just be hilarious, because usually shows, they cast you with another person. They don't necessarily rely on you. They hope you have chemistry, but this is like actually the person I've known longest in my life. So it's like, it makes for an interesting show. It's a lot like there's a podcast with these 2 guys. I see their clips on TikTok all the time. 2 gay guys from fucking Long Island. I forget the name of the podcast. I love them both so dearly. No, that's
2 gay guys from Long Island. That's
no, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that, but that is the vibe. Is right. And I mean, I'm queer, so it's not out of that. Oh, I wasn't saying it like that. But they're both friends since they were young. They have like VHS recordings of them doing plays and stuff together as like 7-year-olds. So it makes for really good chemistry. And even though Woke and Boke has 800 subscribers and a couple thousand followers on Spotify, I still think that it is like a classic show. I think it's a classic show.
It's pure.
It's extremely pure. And so I got 2018, I heard Come Town for the first time, and I kind of set it down because it was just kind of like the guys. I don't know. It was just kind of like I was like, all right, whatever. Like I guess I liked it, but I didn't get into it. And then around 2019, I can't remember why or what, but I was just like, I think honestly, I think it was the fact that it was when I got into sort of the Bernie Sanders campaign, and there's this weird connection with Come Town and this other show, Chapo Trap House. They both are recorded in Brooklyn, and they're both kind of like in the social sphere of Brooklyn leftists. And that's like something that's been around since like, I guess like the early 2010s. And not that there hasn't been leftists in New York, I'm just saying like this the milieu sphere that this came out of, I'm saying. And when I was getting into the Bernie shit, it was kind of taking me politically from being kind of like an aloof, apathetic, sort of center left, kind of just annoyed. I just graduated from the most annoying fucking liberal arts school ever kind of guy. It drifted me more towards like being a communist and then ultimately like an anarchist. Yeah. And but at the time I was like, I knew of those shows and I knew that they were related to this like the Democratic Socialists of America and stuff. They had like, because Chapo does stuff with that organization and they're friends with the Come Town people. And I knew all that, right? And so I started listening to it again, and I found both shows to be enjoyable. And you can talk shit about either shows; it's totally warranted, or it's totally fair game. There's plenty of criticism that's fair game for both shows, but I personally got a kick out of both. And at that point, it made me like, yeah. I remember it was the summer of 2019. I was like, yeah, Tony, I feel like we should, make a podcast. And then we started slowly coming up with the idea, and I had this like, kind of picture of like these two kind of like crows, these two kind of like vultures sitting on a couch, like smoking weed, like kind of like the vultures from Snow White, or like the Disney movies, like cartoonish 1930s vulture, and sitting on this couch, like the couch they had in the show Cat Dog, like this grimy apartment, and smoking weed and playing video games, and that they would be, the two of us, and it would be called Wokenboke as a joke on Wake and Bake, because woke instead of wake, and it's just kind
double
of
entendre.
It was I was kind of always trying to poke fun at like what I thought were like cringy overused words or phrases or jokes, or I don't know, it was my attempt at being self-aware or whatever. And so yeah, Tony made a fucking kick-ass album art. We both got these mics. Tony invested money in it, put money that he earned from work into getting one of these mics, and we were fucking off to the races after that. And we've done it every week. It was audio for like over a year. Our first goal was like, let's just try and record an episode, 52 episodes. Let's try to get to 52 episodes.
Yeah.
And we did very easily. And then we just kept going after that. And around like the mid 60s, or the high 60s, we started recording video episodes, and we've been doing that. It's crazy how many we have way more video episodes now than we ever have audio episodes. And it's dope. And honestly, like one day, you guys know this has been a long journey for me. And I've been going from I've gone from having, when we started this podcast, absolutely no presence on TikTok, to now it's 2024 and I have 1.1 million followers. So I don't know where I'll be the next, and imagine where I'll be in 4 years.
Right. Another
Imagine
4
where
by
I'll be in-
2030.
Imagine where I'll be in 4 years, Tony. So the reason I say that is because this is a lifelong project I have with Tony. We intend to do this until we literally can't, or I guess until we both agree we're sick of it. But we enjoy it because it's literally, it capsulizes our friendship. And also Max was able to join years ago, and he's been on it. I mean, he hasn't been around recently, but Max has recorded a ton of episodes. Max has been super committed to this show and done it many, many times. And helped record many in-person episodes. And Max is just as much a part of the show as Tony and I are. And it's a shame he can't be here on episode 200 and we can't give him his flowers in person or over the Zoom. But Max has fucking just been and added such another, because Max, I love Tony. Max is also a huge friend of mine, and we have a whole nother sphere of humor that you know, it's almost like you forget about. Like, it's just like when I'm around him, it's just a something that gets added into the ether, because Max is also funny and Max also has a great sense of humor. And that's the consistent thing with all of my friends and all of my loved ones, is they all have good sense of humor. I tease Trish that she doesn't laugh at my jokes, but Trish actually has a great sense of humor, and I love earning Trish's laughs. I love making Tony laugh. I love making Max laugh. I love making all my college friends laugh. My friends have always been people that laugh a lot at my jokes. And, you know, Max and Tony both have great senses of humor, and that's why they've been natural hosts on the show. But I truly want this one day. I would love to just have a set. Frankly, I'd love to own a set.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to own a set for Woke and Boke, and I'd love to be able to afford a crew to produce it for us, where every episode is just an in-person episode, and we have a producer who gives us stuff to talk about or put stuff because we're fine on our own, but it would be nice to have segments and gags and bits and sketches, and it would be fun to do the whole thing, make it a whole show. So one day I would love to, maybe it's not even called Woke and Boke, maybe it's called something else. Like, when it gets to that level, we'll pitch it and it'll be a whole new thing. But one day I want to or maybe I don't have to pitch it. Maybe I'll have so much money I can just motherfucking make it.
Right.
It's
That'd
not that hard. That would be ideal. And I would love to make that one day. And all you Woke and Boke listeners who have been listening over the years, we just appreciate y'all a lot, man. Like, it's very cool. Some people have been listening since before I was on TikTok, man, truly.
Oh yeah.
Or have been listening since just the early TikTok days.
The coolest part, or maybe not the coolest part, but like one of the great, like, cool little factoids about the show is that we started it before, like, pre-pandemic, like right before the pandemic, which was truly like the absolute boom of podcasts and, online content and TikTok and all that. It predates all that stuff. And then the podcast essentially, like, it started maybe 3 months before. It started in September of 2018 and 2019, and COVID pandemic started March of 2020. So there was like 6 months of like sort of the build up. And one of the early episodes, you hear me, I'm like, this is nothing. You remember the bird flu back in the day? Like, it's the same thing. That shit's going to happen. And then, the pandemic happened, and the podcast like documents everything that happened from September of 2019 to present. And a lot of stuff has happened since then that we never would have imagined. And it's just awesome that we're going to be able to go back and like see how we were during those times.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
And I will admit, like, I'm sure there's jokes or stuff that I was working through or working out because I didn't have a big audience at the time, you know, and the bigger your audience is, the better at the shit you have to be. You know, the more refined you have to be at what you say, how you say it, the jokes you choose to tell, everything. You got to be better at this comedy shit. And I'm sure there was some rough, raw shit. I've even gone back and deleted a couple episodes where I'm just like, listen, this is just messy. This
is crass.
This is crass. And you know what? Like, it ain't worth the squeeze. That's my favorite saying. The juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. Some of these aren't worth the squeeze. That's how I feel about a lot of people who, or just the type of humor where it's so focused on offending, just sacred ground and going to places that are, edgy and that's wrong. And obviously I do that all the time. That nothing tickles me more than being naughty, but like that's the thing for me is like you got to be better than that. You got to be funnier than that, man. You can't rely on, oh yeah, my whole thing is just gonna be abortion, this, that. It's like, dude, come on. Like, be funny. Have a personally funny like element about yourself. Like that's the shit I can't stand, man. Is when people are like, they write jokes and they tell funny jokes, but they are not included in the joke really, and their situation, their person, they as people are not funny. They're not funny to think about. It's not funny to think about them in a situation. You know what I mean? Like, like Cat Williams is funny, which is crazy because this podcast is the first podcast of the year. So it's been a month. So we haven't talked about anything that's happened in the month. That Cat Williams interview is crazy. Because like Cat Williams, you can imagine him. It's just like he as a person is funny because he really is who he is. You know what I mean?
I loved hearing him call out all the fucking Rogan comedy brats.
Dude, go ahead.
Big shout out to this channel that I'm obsessed with right now called Podcast Cringe. I've started following him maybe a month ago at 60K. He's already at 100K subscribers. Like, he's just blowing up, and his whole thing is just keeping up with that whole Rogan sphere. So Rogan, Segura, Bert Kreischer, Andrew Schultz, and
I've seen these how Joe Rogan ruined comedy. I've seen that thumbnail. It fucking cracks me up.
Dude, check out his videos. He's Australian, so he's pleasant to listen to.
I peeped the Shane Gillis, Andrew Schultz one. Are you telling me Shane Gillis went on his podcast and was like, dude, don't laugh at people with Down syndrome? Like, was he being for real or was he joking?
It was like the context of it, sort of, I guess. Like, because I get what he was saying. Like, they're just,
because I'm like, do you know what you're most famous for?
Right. No. So I was confused by it, but I think what he's saying is like, it's just like, okay, what's your this flagrant podcast, right? Like, what are we doing right now? We're just pulling up videos of people with Down syndrome and laughing at them for dancing. Like, it's not really like the same thing as working through a comedy special, like that's trying to write a joke that doesn't like bag on them, but like razz on them, but like,
God, the flagrant podcast is the most embarrassing shit in the world.
Oh yeah, no,
my God,
this channel, Podcast Cringe, is just like amazing to me.
I'm subbing with the Welcome Boke account. We're subscribed.
Good. Hell yeah. I literally, anytime he drops a video, I'm like, I'm gonna watch that right now. Because he and helps that he has a really pleasant Australian voice, because there's another channel called Too Lazy to Try, and he does pretty much the same thing, and he's good, but he talks like this, and he talks like in the monotone voice, and so this is why I think this, and basically like this. I'm like, okay,
wait, who talks like that?
This is this other channel, Too Lazy to Try.
Yeah, I can't do that shit. Yeah,
no, but the Australian, he comes with his cheeky sort of Australian humor, and he's very pleasant to listen to, and he's hilarious, and just good shit. And
Andrew Schultz has what I would describe as douchebag humor, and what I mean by that is to a douchebag, like douchebag humor. The special element about douchebag humor is that the person never believes what they're saying isn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this sort of smarmy, smirky smugness to it. Like, I'm looking at this thumbnail of him. The title of this video is, folks, you can look it up. Expert reveals the pyramid's lost technology. This has 3.3 million views. This channel has one
clip.
Yeah, this has 1.54 million subscribers, and this guy sells out Manhattan, Madison Square Garden. This is a multi-millionaire, probably. I'm assuming, unless he's just terrible with his money or doesn't get a huge cut of these things or not. I'm assuming he's worth multi-millions.
His podcast and his Patreon, like, I think the guy broke it down that he brings in, like, you know, probably 10 figures, you know, like at least 10 million, but he has so much to pay for. He has like a whole crew and a production.
Well, 10 figures would be $1 billion, wouldn't it?
No, that's because 9 figure. Oh wait, sorry, 8 figures. My bad. Yeah.
So he brings figures. In tens of millions a year from just the podcast. From
the Patreon and all this stuff and stuff like that. But he pays so many people, that it's just ridiculous. Versus Joe Rogan, who it's just him and Jamie. So they are making astronomically more money. But sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, that's actually crazy. It's just him and Jamie still. Jamie operates the cameras and everything.
Yeah.
My God.
They may have one.
Rogan has to be Rogan's. We're going to see a headline next year, and it's going to be that Joe Rogan's a billionaire.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah. His Spotify deal ends actually this year. So it'll be interesting to see if he re-ups on it or what they do. But
word.
But, sorry, the video.
So douchebag humor, right?
Yeah.
So I can just tell. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really detail oriented person, Tony. Okay, I pick up on the details. I'm observant, right? Would you argue that I'm observant?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That I can really, like, if something's off, I'm gonna spot it pretty quick, right? Like,
yes.
Like I can really, because
state.
Yeah. Like I pay too close attention to things. And one thing, I'm an actor. Okay. So part of being an actor is you know how to express your face, and you just naturally are good at that. And the expression on his face, expert reveals the pyramid's lost technology. The expression on Andrew Schultz's face, wearing, don't even know the word for what that is, but it's him trying to mimic the garb of a Egyptian royalty, I understand. Okay. The expression on his face has this little, this thread, it's almost like I'm a sommelier of expressions. Yeah, it has this little note of, isn't this so goddamn fucking funny?
I gotta look this up.
Isn't this so goddamn funny that I'm making fun of this, like, stupid pyramid guy, and I'm being over dramatic about it, and look at my serious face. Isn't this so? You can just see in the slight squint in his eyes, the slight smile, just the ever so slight smile, that he thinks this is the fun. He's being dry, but he knows this is the funniest shit in the world. He thinks this is the funniest shit in the world. Right.
Right.
Just in that little clip. That's just something I noticed. Douchebags. I met a douchebag in my first sales job. Total douchebag. Was an outright homophobe. And honestly, just like a broken person in multiple ways. Like, this guy had major issues. And he thought he was a comedian. He likes all these douchebags. And he likes all these unfunny comedians. The guy was the same way. No one in his life probably has ever told him he's a funny fucking person. But for whatever reason, he decided I'm a comedian because I like comedy, and he has just a level of delusion and confidence that he thinks he's funny. He should do something else. He should frankly seek God and medication and therapy. He should frankly go to therapy. That's what he should do. He should go to therapy, and he should exercise. That's what he should do. And talk very little. Talk very little. Do a lot of exercise. Keep his opinions to himself, and go to therapy. And his life his trajectory will go like that, because he's very privileged, and he has a lot of access to memes. Okay. He was the same way as Andrew Schulz. Same type of guy, same type of New Yorker, same kind of vibe, douchebag. First of all, Andrew Schulz's hair here. I mean, just look at his hair. Look at his hair. Crazy Nazi haircut. I don't know why. Why does he do that stupid hard fade?
Right. It's a weird look.
Hard undercut. I don't understand. It looks like shit. Anyhow, I don't get, right? Like this was going to be my original point, right? Why are all these cool people going on shows like this? You know what I'm saying? Or people that I think are cool that I wouldn't want to necessarily disparage or whatever, because I think they're cool. But I'm disappointed to see them on this show. I don't know why. It's like Andrew Schulz, people like him. It's almost like people don't associate him as much. Like he gets a pass, it seems, from this sort of like Rogan douchebag thing. I mean, if you know, but I'm looking, okay, Lil Dicky. I don't want to have a problem with Lil Dicky, right? Who gives a shit about Lil Dicky? I've never been into him because it's a guy gimmick rapping, whatever, but I don't, he's good at what he does. Why is he on this show? Right next to Lil Dicky, I hope he knows, is an episode with 1 million views. Vivek Ramaswamy is the guest. Republican candidate that is now endorsing Trump. That's right next to his episode. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, fucking Action Bronson's on the show. Oh, he's cool. Action Bronson's cool. Hey, Sebastian Maniscalco's on the show. He's cool.
There's so many weird clips of just Schultz being weird with Sebastian, and his episode with Shane Gillis is amazing because Shane just is on another level from him.
Yeah,
and so
Shane's actually
Shane is funny. I like.
Shane is objectively funny. I just I think he's a poor substitute for the Louis C.K. I'm bummed that it's like Louis C.K. was president and then he got voted out of office and now it's become Shane Gillis, and I miss the Louis C.K. days because that was I just don't think and it's also because I know Shane Gillis. Now I realize Louis C.K. seemed like someone with an actual perspective artistically and personally on the world, as an artist. Shane Gillis, I know, because he's friends with the host of Come Town. He's of that sphere. I know his politics, and they're just lazy comedian bro leftism politics. It's just he could be doing a lot more with this gift he has, is all I'm going to say. That's my word on Shane Gillis, but go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say he kind of reminds me of when Tom Segura first broke onto the scene, in terms of he's just a deadpan sort of chubby guy that is blowing up right now. But now Tom Segura obviously sucks, and so does Bert, and they're just fat rich guys that talk about being rich, and it's just hilarious to listen to this channel just rip into them, just absolutely lambast them.
That's actually brings up a good point. We're actually in the second presidency after Louis C.K. The first presidency was the Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura era, where it was dude, these two mid-fat white guys are hilarious, and I'm they're just doing a worse Louis C.K. I don't understand. Tom Segura's stealing all of his energy from Louis C.K., all of his delivery, all of his setup. It just feels like it's all Louis C.K. And then Bert Kreischer, I don't relate to in the slightest, because
I don't know what.
Every time he talks, it's just excited, bro talk. Yeah.
Never heard you do a Bert impression, but that's so perfect.
My daughter, no, I swear to God, no, it's fucking Kool-Aid. Yeah.
I'm not alcoholic, but I just love drinking. Imagine just waking up and having a margarita.
You have no idea.
Amazing.
We did 3 shows in Vegas, and then third night, Ari comes up to me and says, "Let's do mushrooms." And I'm what? It's just the most fucking, you're not funny and I can't stand your personality. Where do we go from here?
There's a great clip of him in a Target, and he, for some reason, has someone filming him, and these kids walk up And they're like, "Are you a YouTuber?" And he's like, "No." And they're like, "You streamer?" He's like, "No, I'm a comedian." And they're like, "Oh, can you tell us a joke?" And he's like, when I was 22, I got involved with the Russian mafia." And they're like, "I don't get it." And he's like, I don't really have any kid-friendly jokes. I'm like,
he's like, "That built my house. That built my house. The machine built my house."
Right.
I've taken it around the country. Do you know how funny the story is?
Yeah, it made a movie that flopped.
You know how funny it is to tell a story about yourself?
Right, he says that he didn't know how to end the story, and then I'm like, wait, so how did that get you big? Like, fucking Bobby Lee, story. I forget what podcast he was on, but he says he went over to Bert's house, and he's like, he had like 8 people just on computers typing shit. He's like, what are they doing? Like, he just has an enterprise going. I don't know, like, what.
People just writing jokes for him?
I don't know if they're writing jokes or scheduling like tours, and I don't know how he sells out arenas, like how that's even possible that Bert Kreischer sells out arenas across the world, but it's insane.
They genuinely think they're two of the funniest people in the world. That's the funniest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this, and I genuinely don't think this is arrogant of me to say. I am 100% funnier than both of them.
Yeah,
I am not more did my recording stop? No? Okay, let's go. I am not better at their craft than them. I am not more successful than them. I'm not better at joke writing, the craft of joke writing than them. I'm not saying any of that. I am saying that on a desert island, I'm making more people laugh than them in any situation. And I'm just saying I'm funnier than both of them, and it's not even close. And I don't see myself, I think just the bar is very low. You know what I'm saying? I think the bar is very low. But imagine how I'm supposed to perceive someone like Tom Segura or Bert Kreischer. I'm sure many other comedians feel the same way, and they'd be correct that they're funnier than them. Imagine what that must be like to be a struggling comedian. I personally don't feel like I'm struggling. I feel like I'm lucky. But imagine being a struggling comedian and you look at them and you're funnier and you're just like, oh my God, why?
Right. And they just have a good work ethic like that. But honestly, do they even? Because Tom's dad is a hedge fund manager. He didn't struggle once his entire life. Bert Kreischer, same thing. He went to Florida State University. He didn't. He majored in English, and it took him 7 years. He was and now he's just a 50-year-old frat bro. I
also in context, out of context, there's so many clips of Tom Segura just being like a fucking, just in an unfunny way, being like a real, just making fun of poor people and shit. But it's
he calls poor people pores. He calls them pores. Once you start calling poor people pores,
But obviously he's joking, right? We have to assume he's joking. But I don't think he says it. I'm good at reading energies. I can tell when someone means what the fuck. He does. He would
sell his family for the right price.
He definitely thinks there's poor people that deserve to be poor. He definitely thinks that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fundamental difference between people. I think that's a big deal. Do you think that, hey, some people deserve to be poor because they're idiots and they should have used their money better? Or do you think no one on earth, this abundant, green, fruitful earth, should ever have to experience homelessness and poverty under capitalism? You have to make up your mind on that, because I think he's the type of person who truly believes there's rich people, and I'm not talking you have millions of dollars. I'm talking you have tens, hundreds, billions of dollars. I think he's the type of person who thinks there's some rich people that deserve to be rich, mega rich people. Wealth that has come from extracting and exploiting probably legions of people and consumers who are all part of this same game. He's that type of guy where I can kind of tell that. And it's just a shame because it's muddied the waters in a way where like these comedians become these like cultural sort of like shortcuts to reactionary kind of like thought. Like Vivek Ramaswamy going on Andrew Schultz and getting in front of the youth is preparing him to continue running throughout his political career for president.
Mm-hmm.
When the fucking
After this election.
the geriatrics are gone. Yeah, it's like it's so that he can get in with the kids and the young, conservatives. That's why, and like the UFC is aligned with that. A lot of the comedy and entertainment world is aligned with that. Like it's just disappointing to see people on the show that you like, and it's also disappointing. Like Mateo Lane, I love Mateo Lane, but like, why are you on this show? But then also Mateo Lane is also kind of like in that milieu too. They're just comics. They're both comics. Yeah, it's exposure. And that's why I don't really judge people for being on these shows. Like, I'm certainly not, I wouldn't be on Andrew Schultz show ever, because the guy gives me the creeps just from a million miles away. But
an episode where Logan Paul goes on the show and Schultz is like, he's like feeling Logan Paul throughout the whole show, like grabbing his thighs and like his arms and shit, like really violating Logan Paul. And it's like really weird to see. So I would not get within like 15 feet of the dude.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't judge people for going on his show. If you have, if you think he's chill or whatever, if he's tolerable and it's good exposure, go on the fucking show, Because if anything, to be honest, it doesn't really make the guests look bad when they're on the show. He just always looks bad. It's really that's what it always is. Like I bet you Vivek Ramaswamy was probably less awkward than Andrew Schultz in that.
When Shane Gillis was on there, he calls out Schultz Schultz does this thing where he like has an epiphany and he's like, oh, so fucking this is like this. Because of this, like this, and then and Shane just like he's like, I love a good Schultz epiphany. It's just the most like over exaggerated, just like for just
performative,
right? And then all of his like three co-hosts like are dying from this because they all obviously want to call out Andrew for this, but they can't because he like runs the shit,
dude. And that's the saddest part is the three other co-hosts that are sitting there going,
right, yep.
Like that is pathetic, dude. I will never be that in my life, bro. How like. Okay, I'm sorry, man, to those hosts of his show, but like, how are you gonna be third, fourth mic on this show? Like, I know you're probably getting paid well, but like, you can't tell. We're gonna hear those guys were depressed the whole time later. Like, there's no way you're not going home in the mirror and like, dude, I have to fill dead air when Andrew Schultz isn't talking. Like, what?
Yeah,
I have. That's my contribution. Is yeah.
They're comedians too, or two of them are. One's the producer.
Yeah, I'm finding that comedian is a lot more times a word that means I'm not funny than
right
than I expected. But
unmarketable.
Yeah, like Matt Rife.
Dude,
Matt Rife.
He was talking to Tom. This is another podcast cringe video I was watching, and he broke down sort of how Dave Chappelle gave Matt Rife advice on a lawyer using a different lawyer that he could pay hourly versus a percentage of whatever deal he negotiates. And basically, he did the math, and it came down to Matt Rife was negotiating a $15 million deal.
For what?
For
Netflix
some sort
special?
of for a special or something, for a show. Maybe it hasn't, but we don't know yet. But he was talking about the percentage he would have had to pay. And then if you just extrapolate that to what it is a percentage of, it was $15 million. And I'm like, bro, you shared a post one time where it was like a clip of him. He's like, maybe I'm not funny. And it was just a giant hammer just on a nail.
So funny. Like sometimes I think I'm not funny. My friend has a good impression of him. I can't even do it, but it's just like, oh, he's mad. Oh, he's mad. It's like it's always him.
Dude.
Look, he's laughing. Look, he's laughing.
The cringiest thing I've seen from him is Tom Segura like flexing, like showing him how buff he's got, which is very like average buffness. And then Matt's like, show him what you got. Like, I'm like, like, kill me.
Yeah. This is brutal. This is brutal.
But that's why podcast cringe is like medicine to me. I'm just like, oh my God, there's a guy he's blowing up right now. You know, he went from 0 to 100 in less than like 6 months. And he's just roasting the shit out of these guys. And it's just, I hope he becomes bigger than, because he's a former fan of all these. And I think there's a lot of people like our age and, you know, give or take 5-10 years that are like, have been fans of them throughout the pandemic and at the beginning of that age. And now we're getting to the mid 2020s. We're kind of like seeing the death of that era. Like their views are all tanking. The ad revenue is tanking. Yet they've, like Tom Segura, for example, his whole Your Mom's House production, it's so big, but the ad revenue, like there's so many people working there. They have like multiple podcasts that they do.
Yeah.
And now all the views are declining because people can go out and do stuff that they just overshot, you know, what they're, you know, they did too much and now they're like, fuck, we got to pull back. And dude, you know, I'm not praying for anyone to fail, but
all those guys like Ari Shafir, they have like thousands of episodes of podcasts. It's like they do too many shows. There's too many podcasts.
That's what he says.
There's
like,
nothing to talk about.
That's the problem with these episodes. One, they bank episodes, so they're just talking about stuff that happened like 3 months ago, and now it seems like they're scripting episodes. Like Tom and Bert, like they know they have nothing to talk about, so they scripted Bert like shitting his pants, like that type of shit. He's like, dude, I think I just shit my pants. And you can kind of like, you may not realize it when you're listening, but dude breaks it down and it's just hilarious to see like, yeah, this is like the death of this. Like there's nothing, they don't do any normal stuff. They're just rich people and they don't have any sort of normal, relatable real life experience to joke about anymore.
They've run out of material.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, they're just rich and they dark, race cars and buy expensive shit and yeah, they have nothing to talk about.
I bought you Hitler's cup. Oh.
I bought you Hitler's what? Oh, Hitler's cup. Yeah.
Oh, this cup belonged to Hitler. Isn't that funny? Like,
yeah, I remember that.
I mean, I guess.
In
private, tragic. But you're kind of a sick freak. Like that's the type of shit I'm talking about. It's like you're so perversely wealthy that it amuses you to like waste your money like buying shit like this. Like, what is wrong with you, dude?
Right. And Tom like will call people out for saying that that's like, you know, not enjoyable to listen to. And he's like, look, don't get mad at me just because I'm like, we're not mad. It's just boring as shit. Like no one gives a shit about your rich hobbies.
It's just also like I'm sorry, it does say something about your character that like you think that's what most people want to hear is like how rich you are, or like I don't even know, like I don't like, yeah, it might be the birthday present thing, but it's like you're losing awareness. Like the fact that you have money to waste to buy Hitler's cup, you know, that's probably going to a Nazi sympathizer, I'm assuming, because why would someone have Hitler's cup? But maybe it's just a historian, I don't know. But like, you're spending money to buy Hitler memorabilia as a joke. Like, that says to me that you might as well make a video where you're putting a bunch of money on the ground and lighting it on fire. It has the same tone to me. I'm gonna send you the screenshot I did of like their lineup. I want you to look at it on Discord.
Their lineup.
Oh wait, actually, I'll just send it on Instagram. Like their show lineup on Your Mom's House Productions or whatever.
One of them is the son and daughter from freaking Sopranos, which is cool. Like I don't have any ill will towards them.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's cool.
I've only seen clips of it. I haven't checked it out, but you know,
yeah, look at this. What? No,
in the actual boys, or are you sending it to me?
I guess I'll do it because it's just an easier shorthand. 'Cause I can't find you. Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's so weird. I've tried to send you stuff directly, and it will only give me the option to send it to you and JP
It's funny.
on Instagram.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like the group thing that we had for, I forget what it was for, but I can't send stuff directly to you.
But yeah, just give that a look. It's like he's got like a fucking news show he's making now. Like,
Oh yeah, 69 minutes. Yeah.
do you love Christina's lipstick? Buy it here. Like, this is a whole fucking machine, man. Not Today, pal. With
Danny Brown
Jamie
has a
Lynn
show.
Sigler
That's
and
kind of
Robert
cool though.
Iler. Yeah, Danny Brown show is cool. I support Danny Brown. You know, good for him. I don't know why
Not
all
Today,
these people
pal.
flirt around with like sort of the right wing comedy sphere, though. It's a bummer, but Dr. Drew has a show on it after dark.
No, he quit. He's not on it. He's not on it anymore.
No way.
Like he left.
Oh no. Where's My Mom's at with Christina P? Christina P is a comedian and exhausted mother of 2 young boys. WMMA explores all things parenting, from colossal mom fails to the quiet rage you feel when your toddler won't nap. Emails, voicemails, and video submissions are welcome. I just realized we haven't talked about video games at all in this podcast, but
You want to pivot, or you want to
we could
keep roasting these fools?
Do you want to keep char grilling these motherfuckers?
Let them live. Like,
yeah, let them live. Yeah, this is gonna be signal boosted to six people. Basically, I was about to say 600, but then I was like, yeah,
no, yeah. I mean, we said all we can about it. I mean, all these we're enjoying
so
the death of this.
I couldn't be more
podcast.
ready for it to die. I've been tired of seeing podcast clips everywhere. This shit is so ass. It will be remembered as garbage, crap. Their best moment is just laughing. One of them has Kool-Aid in it. Like they've never said anything as profound. They've never said anything. There's not like a clip where it's like, well, this was really real. What they said.
Right.
Like, you'll never find anything they said that was real. Let's talk about some video games, Tony. Let me ask you, what have you been playing? And you added a lot of good shit to you added a couple great things to the music category, to be honest.
Yeah.
Damn, a lot has happened. Fuck, dude. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah. So 2 massive situations in music, 2 unprecedented situations in music. Really. First, we have, no one needs to be informed of this. Meg Thee Stallion put out, Meg Thee Stallion, if you pay attention to music, or if you, I don't know why I'm doing this. If you pay attention to music, sometimes I like to hold it like a radio operator. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you ever listen to, rap music, if you pay attention to it, I would say Meg Thee Stallion is like, I don't know, she's huge. Like, if you like the big rappers like Migos and Cardi B and all these big famous rappers, like, you should be aware of Meg Thee Stallion and what she's been through. First and foremost, a lot of people don't mention this. Well, they do, but I think it's a big deal still, even though it's been a couple of years. But like, her mom died. That was her manager. Her mom was like the person that gassed her up and told her she could be a rapper and encouraged her. I think maybe her mom was a rapper too. I don't remember, but like, her mom died and her dad's also passed away. And then she gets shot in the foot, does nothing wrong, but just press charges on the person who shot her. And then, because he's a fucking asshole, was going to blogs and doing all this shit, feeding fake news to the blogs and all this shit, and getting all these news stories out about, oh, she's faking it, or blah, blah, blah. And it's just like crazy online discourse against her. And then she put out this song Cobra, which is like, it's very kind of like, we're shedding your past, shedding your skin. Mm-hmm. And it's more of a serious song. She's touching on her depression, anxiety. I'm a Meg fan, if you can't tell. And then it's like, okay, this is a rollout. Like, this is a rebrand. This is a rollout. This is the post Tory Lane situation rollout. This makes sense. People hating on her. She's got plenty to be annoyed with. People have been telling her that she wasn't. Imagine getting shot and then being told you're a whore liar for
Right.
suggesting that you got shot. I mean, it's just like on top, both your parents are passed away, and now you're super famous, and half the people are being shady because the guy who shot you is famous in the industry, and the industry inherently hates women. So someone like Drake is going to put out a song saying, lying about shots, you're a stallion, siding with Tory Lanez, even though Tory Lanez is this big, both literally and figuratively, in the music business. He's going to side with that instead of this incredible, huge artist who has never been shown to be a fucking douchebag in any way, in any light. He's going to believe annoying ass, corny ass Tory Lanez. I mean, it's just like, so she's been through all this. This Cobra song came out. I really liked it, like the music video. I like how she rolls out music. Song comes out, there's a music video. You know, that's how big artists do it now. So she puts out Cobra, and then it's like months and months go by. New Year comes out. She's clearly getting ready to put out a new album. She puts out this song, Hiss. And it's just like, if you listen and you're on Twitter a lot on the internet like me, you kind of know what all these bars are for. You know, like, and the best part about it is she literally didn't mention anybody by name. Not a single person. Not a single person. Like, she made, you know, Kris Jenner references and stuff, but she's not naming anybody. All she said was, you're worried about Megan? You should be worried about Megan's Law, which is a law that means pedophiles have to be on a registry so that we can publicly know where they are at all times. Didn't say Nicki Minaj, didn't say Drake, didn't say 5 Foreign or whatever, you know, didn't say anyone's name. And obviously, no one needs to be informed of this. Nicki has gone complete meltdown mode. She's clearly on drugs or mentally ill, or something's wrong with her. Despite how well her album did, she has huge hit songs out. She's topping the charts. She's been topping the charts the last 6 months, but she lost her cool, put out a crappy song. And
she lost her cool because her husband is
because she caught rapist. Her husband, yes,
is a convicted rapist, and then her brother is a convicted PDF file
pedophile who she paid the legal fees for. So you have your brother's a pedophile and your husband, yeah. So on top of that, it's like, I was looking up because she's like, oh, Roman's coming out to play. Like, that's when she goes in, is when she's Roman, which is this alternate character, Roman Zelensky. I looked up what the Roman was about, and it's an alternate. She used Nicki Minaj, Roman Zelensky. These are characters that she came up with when her parents were fighting growing up. So this is a reaction to domestic violence. So my analysis is Nicki has probably been through a lot of shit and is probably traumatized and she's probably not very mentally well in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she is a person who needs help, and it is extremely crass and disgusting. The song she put out, mentioning Meg's dead mother in it constantly, saying you're lying on your dead mother, saying that you didn't get shot, saying that she's a whore and that you can hit Megan Raw for a feature or whatever, you know, all this shit. She's looking like a horrible mess. Meanwhile, Megan's on Good Morning America. She's number 1 on Apple Music. She's just everything's going great for her. That's story number 1, guys. Believe it or not, there's another story. The other story in music,
a little less tragic and more like hilarious,
and a better song. Gotta say, if I'm really weighing it, I'd rather listen to this song. Ben Shapiro came out with a feature on Tom McDonald, who is the latest sort of MAGA rapper out there. looks like I don't know what this guy looks like.
It's almost indistinguishable.
He looks
from
like
parody.
he kind of looks like when you fall asleep at a party and they draw on you. That's kind of what he looks like. He looks like
Yeah, he's so on the nose. Like he every like right wing sort of like quippy point you could make, that's like on the nose, like to the T what his rapping is. So it's almost indistinguishable from parody. Like if you were to make like a parody of a right wing rapper, you would just do what he's doing because it's so like
it's beyond parody. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like it's
they knew exactly what they're doing, and it's pretty brilliant if their intent was to get attention. I mean, it's definitely good. I mean, they knew having Ben Shapiro. Man, Ben Shapiro has been internet famous since 2016. Man, I remember when Trump was getting elected. That's when he really rose.
Mm-hmm.
When Trump was getting elected, when Trump was running for president to be elected, that's when he really rose to popularity. And
when will he run? That's what I want to know.
Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
but there will be a president that comes out of the internet. I promise you, there will be a president one day that gets elected that started his fan base on the internet. That will happen in our lifetimes.
Logan Paul.
It could be Logan Paul. It could be fucking Ben Shapiro. It could be fucking. It could be Andrew Tate. Who knows?
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. Yeah. President of the Dork Club. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, Ben Shapiro put out a verse, and it sounds like someone said it sounds like epic rap battles of history, which I think is really accurate.
It does, yeah.
It sounds like a historical figure.
Valid.
But yeah, it is. I was thinking about that. It's like, yeah, you really can't like, and then it makes me conspiratorial because it's like, do these guys just do this? Are they not these? Are these just characters?
Right.
You know what I mean? Are they just like, I could totally buy that some of these guys got into it at first as like centrists that are just trying to exploit kind of like a market, and then they buy into it to the point where they're like totally lost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's very funny though.
It is.
Yeah, I mean that's really the two big stories in music. It's also number one on iTunes. This Tom McDonald song with Ben Shapiro.
Funny.
Yeah,
it is tragic if there's like that there, because there is definitely people that like it resonates with them on a completely unironic level.
Some of the facts, some of your facts, and your fat ass. Yeah, Lizzo, my money is fat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My pockets on Lizzo, my money is fat. I think that's actually a lyric. My pockets on Lizzo, my money is fat. I want Bentley, I want money.
I just pulled up in a Bentley to pick up them frog eyes.
The big out them frog guys. I call them fry guys because they be fry. They be grease ball, yeah, they fry.
Perfect. Rocking a turban.
Yeah.
Sipping on mud bit a bit like bourbon.
I just pulled up in the Tonka. I just got rich. Yeah, bitch, I blew up like Osama.
Big money GL ski, I went bought it.
Yeah.
Diamonds, they pissy, they potty.
All yellow, look like a bird. No, but he does say, my money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1. And then she also responded like favorably towards this fucking homophobic piece of shit, transphobe, goddamn motherfucking piece of shit, Ben Shapiro. Ironically, when her fan base has been so supported by the LGBTQ plus community, she also like is getting support from like Jeffree Star, who's like a fucking racist piece of shit. Also, makeup influencer.
I could go my whole life without ever knowing anything about what he's doing.
Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
Are you aware of him though?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I forget you're
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, I know some stuff.
You're a bit of a tuber. You're a little bit of a tuber.
A little bit of a tuber. In my day.
I'm a little bit of a tuber. Just me and Demeter.
Crying, laughing with the Yeet Shapiro.
Yeah. I want Bentley, I want money. I want Bentley, I want money. Yeah.
Good shit.
All of my diamonds, they rose gold.
You were saying that someone is responding well to it. Were you talking about Megan or Lizzo?
No, Nikki.
Or Nikki.
Nikki was like, cool song, pretty good verse.
Yeah.
You're annoying as fuck. Because she's they have an allegiance, I suppose.
She's been known to be to have more right wing views.
She's been canceled since she in 2018 was compared herself to Harriet Tubman.
I could see it
when she said she was better than Harriet Tubman or some shit like that. Anyways,
better at
being crazy, I guess. Being a cuckoo. Anyways, I say we put a pin in it there. We will be back next week. Regular scheduled uploads. Thank you for being patient. So proud of us, Tone, that we've made it this far. 200. It's going to be fun doing 201, 202, both. We get a fresh start. Isn't that nice? And from here, it's just that all the numbers are sweet. All the numbers sound cool. Oh, episode 207. Oh, episode 395. They all sound cool. But y'all, we love you so much. Please join the Discord, support Buck. That is my biggest mission this year. I want to get Buck off the ground financially. It's possible. He's a great streamer. Twitch.tv/Mosquito Dorito. He's disgusting at Apex.
A daemon.
He's a daemon. Give him a watch. He plays a bunch of other games too, and he's just a great personality. Donate to his Twitch, please. Without further ado, not that phrase. What phrase am I looking for? With all that being said, I suppose.
Yeah, there you go.
With that being said, Tony, thank you so much. Woken Boke forever, motherfuckers. Peace the motherfucker.